Hi, I'm Robert Begley with day 135 of my video challenge. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He sailed three ships and left from Spain. He sailed through sunshine, wind, and rain. He sailed by night. He sailed by day. He used the stars to find his way. A compass also helped him know how to find the way to go. That's the opening stanza of the poem I learned as a kid when I first discovered my first hero, one of my first heroes, Christopher Columbus, discoverer of America. Oh boy, this guy gives me goosebumps when I think about his achievement, having that vision to go against everybody else. Whatever you think about him, and we know today his name is just as bad as it was when they chained him and threw him in jail back around like 1498 or something like that. But human history has two dates that people will never forget. And frankly, one of those dates we're not exactly sure. Is it 0 AD or is it 4 BC? The birth of Christ, whatever that date is, and 1492. It is that simple. It's a watershed moment in human history. Anybody who despises Columbus, vilifies Columbus from the convenience of 21st century technology, freedom, innovations, I think they're missing something here. They're dropping the context that guess what? The natives who would rip beating hearts out of living humans could not distinguish a man from a horse, thought it was one entity. They were primitive. They did not have reason. They worshiped, they rain dance, and all these primitive superstitions, and did not own this land. They were nomadic tribes who were always at war with each other. And guess what? They went to war with another tribe, which was largely unemployed Spanish military who had been fighting the Muslims since 17 AD until 1492. So, confluence of historical events led to this, which I'll talk about more on Thursday on the Hero Show. But just a couple of quick things. A lot of these myths about Columbus are debunked in this excellent book called The Enemies of Christopher Columbus. You see him here in chains. And then two other personal notes. The last time I ever saw my mother alive, me and a few of my siblings went to her home and we were clearing out stuff because she collected and did not throw out things. So we went out there with the plan to take more things out of the house, but with her approval. So I found this and I asked her, "Mommy, can I have this? To have in my apartment? It's Las Viajes de Colón, the Voyages of Columbus, celebrating the 500th anniversary of his discovery." And she shot me a look and said, "You always know what to take," meaning she and I bonded on this. And the map covers the different journeys that Columbus did. I really have to read this thing by Thursday, so I have more knowledge in my head. So that was one sad moment. Last time I ever saw my mother, I did not know that would be the last time. She was definitely sick with emphysema, and I had a lot going on, but it was only 3 days later that she had passed away. Then back in, I think, 2010, I did a tour all across Europe. There was one place I definitely had with a bullet point next to that I would have to go to, and that was Columbus's home in Genoa. And boy, what a thrill. I had goosebumps the whole time I was there. I looked outside this window out into the lot of what was there, the tiny place. not the literal house. It was a reconstruction of what the original house looked like. I think it was destroyed uh, in like the 1600s, but they rebuilt it. And I got to walk in it because guess what? Columbus is my hero. I could keep going on about him, but actually, yeah, there's one other book that I recommend. It's called Christopher Columbus. It's more of a children's book, and it's written in the 1970s. And one of the great things about this book, as a contrast, is I would blame more if there's a single book that led to the warped, distorted view of Columbus that is now dominant. It is Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States, and it's just filled with envy. The guy's a Marxist who hates life, hates human achievement, hates capitalism, although he's made very wealthy by so many sales of his books, and it's used in all government schools. So one reason there's so much hatred of America, Columbus, Western civilization is because this one book is being pushed in government schools. So, but before that book was written, this was just a good children's book that tells what Columbus did. And certainly, I'm not looking for a hagiography of he didn't do anything wrong. I'll talk about what he did wrong on the Hero Show, but likewise, not a vilification either. He wasn't all good and all bad, but he had the courage to go where no one went before. No Westerner went before, let's put it that way. Leif Erikson, we could dismiss him. There was no influence. There was no lasting influence of Leif Erikson coming from Iceland to the northern Atlantic, what's now Canada. There's nothing lasting. Once Columbus came in 1492, the Western civilization was imported to the New World. And what are the key values of Western civilization? I mean, there was a lot of superstition, there was a lot of war around that time, but what grew out of it that's unique, concept of individualism, the concept of political representative government, and the idea of reason over blind superstition. This continent had just superstitious people who did rain dances and again couldn't tell a man on a horse that thought it was one entity. So that's it. A little bit longer, but because I love Columbus so much and what he did, I have to celebrate him today on Columbus Day, October 12th. We'll see you tomorrow with day 136 of the video challenge.